Hey everyone, happy Friday the 13th. This is Amy with Dragon's Bed Apothecary, and we're going to do our Friday Oil Oracle card reading. And of course, it's got a little extra something to it because today's Friday the 13th, right? So, if you're new, welcome. Please consider subscribing to the channel, or you can always check me out on my website, dragonsbedapothecary.com. We do oil oracle card readings every Friday and on every full moon. They are a lot of fun, very insightful, and eerily aligned to a lot of things that are happening to people who have been through these readings and certainly the world at large sometimes. So today, of course, we have our three cards, what we need this weekend, what we need next week, and kind of just a bonus card, the message from the universe is what we call it. So I've already pulled the cards. This is good stuff, guys. You are going to love it. So we're going to jump right in and talk about what's going on here with these cards. So we have, gosh, they're just so beautiful. I'm going to jump right in. So the first card, and this is for what we need this weekend, is some neroli. And neroli is actually an orange that doTERRA makes an oil from, and it's really, really pretty. And there was actually a princess who used to wear it all the time to attract suitors. That's how it kind of came to be. And here's what's so great about it. If you have anxiety and are dealing with a lot of stress, this is the oil to use. I'm telling you, it is just, not only does it smell pretty just as a daily oil to wear, but it's very calming and soothing. I really enjoy wearing it a lot. So our first card for this weekend is neroli, and this is the card of cause and effect. So pretty interesting perspective on this card too. So let's talk a little bit about what this means. And as you guys know, I only use doTERRA oils because they are pure. They're so transparent about their testing for quality, so you are not going to get anything unsafe from them. All right, so the wise words of this really pretty goddess here are: some things happen for a reason and other things just come with a season. So nothing happens by chance. It's not just dumb luck. Every cause has an effect, and every effect becomes the cause of something else. So it's chain reaction stuff in our life every day, all day long. We are all interwoven with this and one another, and your thoughts and your actions have immense power, and they are part of our grid of knowledge. And very important, we hear it all the time that words are things, right? And they have very important influence and impact to things that happen to us all the time. So this card tells us that we are all one, and we need to act accordingly, that because our behavior, our action, our words have impact on others, certainly other things happening in our life too. And we always need to kind of be mindful of the impact that something has on another. Even if we think that won't impact anyone, in a lot of ways it does, and maybe indirectly, but there is impact. So as we know, energy cannot be destroyed. It's always moving and transforming into something else. And so this suggests that the universe is in motion all the time. We know that. And this chain of events or actions happen as a result of us and things that we do, we think, we act on, etc. So it kind of helps us overcome that egotistical aspect of ourselves where we think nothing we do will impact others negatively or positively, that it's all for us. And this kind of helps us bring us back down to reality that yes, it does. So again, this is an orange. It's actually a bitter orange, and it's a combination of 3 oils that make neroli, the one that doTERRA makes anyway. And it's petitgrain, which is the leaves and twigs of the petitgrain, neroli, which is the blossoms of the orange trees that it comes from, and then of course wild orange itself, and the rinds of the wild orange. And they each have their own input into this process that make up what we know as the oil blend neroli that doTERRA has. And each of them need each other to make that oil effective and work for us. And they work in unison to make that happen. So the reason I say that is that's, again, that chain reaction example, and why this oil helps support in that way of thinking. Everything is interwoven. So again, neroli is great for relaxation, anxiety. It helps with communications and relationship needs. And so what this card is telling us is that we have to pay attention to every thought, word, and deed, because it's going to set off a cause, that a wave of energy through the universal grid, which in turn creates an effect. Okay. And the effect, we want it to be desirable and positive, and not negative and thinking it's standalone just for us, because that's impossible. So we need to flow with life, dance with the wind. There's no point in trying to control the riptide. Just make sure in the future that our actions don't create negative riptides going forward, and be constant and holistic in our actions. So, a little neroli on you. If you don't know how to get neroli, reach out to me, I'll help you. And the affirmation for this oil is, I am in control of my reactions. I write my own destiny, and I create a stress-free world for myself. Okay, and I'll say that one again. I am in control of my reactions. I write my own destiny, and I create a stress-free world for myself. Okay, so we need a little neroli this weekend. Okay, now we're going to talk about next week. I know, who wants to think about next week? Because this week was crazy enough by itself. And we're already sitting here on a weird little Friday the 13th, with a lot of crazy things happening in the world where you can't even buy toilet paper off the grocery shelf. So I feel like we need this next card, in all seriousness. It is just so appropriate for the craziness that is going on in our world right now. That card is fennel. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why we need this. So it is the card of intensity and overpowering. And his wise words are, you have to be odd to be number one. So this is a fun, eccentric, and patient card. It's very open-minded when it's in a good mood. And it's kind of the essence of life. And it keeps things exciting and feeling good and positive, that nothing cannot be handled. Okay. And of course, this is dealing with our solar plexus. And it's a, of course, you know, fennel is teeny tiny little seeds, big on just flavor and intensity. And you are going to notice when you've got a little fennel going on. It kind of helps us overcome this need to be controlling and overpowering, being very self-esteem centered, and, you know, being negative to others. So it kind of goes with our first card too, that neroli, right, where we are passing off bad energy through the universal grid. This one too is kind of helping us not be so self-absorbed, and freeing up our energy so it's more positive and influential in that way. So as you guys know, fennel's great for sugar cravings. It's great for digestion, and it helps us overcome feeling inferior or rejected. So maybe, you know, gosh, there's so many ways that those two feelings come up a lot for us, right? So this kind of helps manage that in a positive way. And it helps let us know, you know, how to navigate those really awkward situations where we don't really feel like part of it, or we feel kind of beaten up from it. So it's always helping us move and look for solutions. So this card means that we may feel like a person of authority, or a subject matter expert, and we're about to give someone a verdict or a ruling. And this card is telling us to assess those type of situations in our life, and where we maybe are enforcing a little bit too much control, trying to dictate the terms of the situation. And it helps us let go of power and let the situation unfold as it should. And we've been putting maybe too much effort into something that is unproductive and becoming frustrating because we're trying to control it and control that outcome. Okay. So this card, actually, I really love just putting a little drop of this in water. Again, only using doTERRA because it's good stuff and it's going to help you and you can trust it being safe. But put a little drop of this in your water if this card is applying for you next week. And your affirmation is, I will trust my process and celebrate my progress. I enjoy flexibility in every aspect of my life. Boy, I need some of this. Probably just all over my whole body because I don't deal with change well. All right, so let me say this affirmation again. I will trust my process and celebrate my progress. I enjoy flexibility in every aspect of my life. All right, good luck with that one. Let's try a little fennel and see if it helps us with it a little bit more, huh? Okay, so this third card is a message from the universe. And I think it aligns very beautifully with these two first cards. And it is Copaiba. And this is the card of growth and accomplishment. Now, I can tell you, just without even reading what this card's about, that based on the first two cards, with us feeling this sense of needing to control and stepping away from that, you're automatically going to grow. That's just the way things work. So let's talk about Copaiba here, though, and I'll tell you what the card actually gives you a little more detail on. So this card, of course, is from a tree. It's from the balsam, and it comes from the trunk in South Africa. South America. And it's, of course, a native to Brazil. And it's been used medicinally forever. It was, of course, you can use it orally. You can use it topically on your skin. You can diffuse it. The benefits of this thing are just hands down incredible. A lot of people, if you've used CBD oil, a lot of people who are concerned about THC or some of the benefits of CBD and trying to get a good quality product, there's actually been a lot of studies done by doTERRA to show that Copaiba has a lot longer, long-lasting effects over those of CBD for things like inflammation and pain and long-term healing benefits, not just temporarily relieving those. So if you want more information about that, reach out to me. I'm happy to show you the studies or any other information you want to know about this oil. But everything I've read and heard about this, it is truly incredible at healing while providing relief and for a lot longer lasting than what they are seeing in the majority of CBD oils that are sold. Now, let me just tell you, if you're a CBD oil user, please don't be buying that stuff from a gas station. Make sure what you're using is high quality. And again, if you want information about this Copaiba oil, reach out to me. I'm happy to share it with you. You can do your own comparison. And I'll show you certainly the information I have found about it. Okay, so back to what this card means for us. Again, it is related to helping us reclaim who we are, removing patterns that aren't serving us, and bringing out the light within us, okay? And acknowledges that we all make mistakes and that we all have faults, we're all imperfect, but it's part of growing and bettering ourselves and progressing and evolving, all those good words. and helping us kind of overcome when we don't recognize how much we have overcome already or how much we have progressed and achieved. Helping us kind of take that moment and reflect back on some of the good things we have done. And always thinking of better, of different ways that we can appreciate our achievements and for what they make us. So this card strives for perfection when everybody's looking. It's kind of the in front of the camera kind of business, but does not see the beauty that everyone else has seen. So for instance, right now, I'm sitting here in front of this camera looking at this little bump in my hair going, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm on camera looking like a mess. And you know, you guys are probably, you know, thinking, oh, this is a great reading. This is very informative, but I can't see that. Okay. And that's just an example of how this oil kind of helps us identify our true self, aligning to our heart and our solar plexus, and not being afraid to show the world who we really are, imperfections and all. Okay. So this card means that we need to let go of that idea of perfection, appreciate what we've overcome and where we are in life, how we got here, and appreciate that we have achieved a lot. Reward and congratulate ourselves on that while we continue to learn and improve and grow. Honor our soul to be in harmony and bathe ourselves with intuitions and initiations and moments of celebration so that we're always building ourselves up. Okay. And again, the more you release control of things that you're trying to manipulate or make sure go perfectly, like we talked about in these other two cards, that's where this can help and really excel that growth that you have in yourself. So, how I use Copaiba, and again, only the doTERRA one, don't mess around with anything else. I put a drop on my finger and I literally rub it on my gums. It really is powerful. And then this is the affirmation we're going to say with this oil. Okay? I am miraculous just the way I am. So that's our cards for this weekend. Let's start letting go of some power. Release the burden of carrying that heavy stuff that is just weighing you down and making you feel miserable. And let's look on how we actually advance ourselves in growing in who we are more confidently and positively, which will in turn help our energy that we share with others be more positive and uplifting to them. Okay, so that is our reading for today, March 13th, Friday the 13th. And if you have any questions, you can reach out. Dragon Spit Apothecary is my website. You can book time with me. You can do a personal reading of the cards with me, or we can just talk about natural health and your needs, however I can serve you. So everyone, have a fantastic weekend, and we will talk again soon.